Mega Man 8 was the first Mega Man game on the PlayStation, and it's also a game I've never beaten prior to this playthrough. Does it stack up to the previous Mega Man games? Does it meet the expectations of a 32-bit Mega Man game? That's what I'd like to talk about. But first, two things. Firstly, if you haven't already, I'd like to ask you to scroll down and subscribe. Subscribing convinces YouTube to show my videos to more people, and it motivates me to create more videos. Second, this is the 8th Mega Man video in my Mega Man retrospective. If you haven't seen the previous 7, I recommend you go do that, as I'll be going into this video assuming that you've seen them, or at the least played them. Without further ado, let's get going. Our story starts in space? What the heck are we doing here? Okay, well, we see two guys fighting, and one of them has taken a hit and is falling. We then cut to a city where we see Mega Man and Bass fighting. Mega Man wins, and we get a transmission from Light stating how an asteroid fell and we gotta go check it out, so off we go. Before we talk about the actual game, these anime cutscenes are a massive step up compared to the dialogue boxes of previous games. Not to rag on those games, but this is just so much better. Yeah, it sucks that it's so pixelated, but it's 1997, what are you gonna do? I'm no expert on anime at all, so all I can say is that it's well animated. I'd never notice any sort of animation mistakes anywhere. Of course, the voice acting is another story. It's pretty infamous by now, but the English dub sucks. I mean, no disrespect to the voice actors, they were probably just doing the best they could, but pretty much nobody gave a good performance, and some people just don't fit the roles they have.
Mega Man, today we finish this!
Hey, Bass! Why must I fight you? We are not enemies!
Shut up! Don't run away, coward. You'll pay for this insult.
A strange meteor has fallen to Earth just a while ago. This meteor seems to be emitting a powerful energy signature. Something this powerful must not fall into the hands of evil.
However, for this playthrough, I didn't have to deal with that. Thanks to a ROM hack by Ace Diaz, I can watch the cutscenes in Japanese with English subtitles. And as someone who doesn't speak Japanese, it's good.
こんな戦いはやめよう、フォルテ！僕には君と戦う理由はない！
うるさい！この借りは必ず返す。このままでは済まさないぞ。
All in-game voice clips have also been replaced, so that's nice. The in-game text wasn't retranslated, but the original text is just fine, so there wasn't any need. Anyway, we head to the island where the asteroid fell, and is that the Mecha Dragon? Are we at Wily Castle too? That's actually kinda cool. But anyway, this is our intro stage, and it's just as good as the last one. Actually no, it's better for two reasons. First, Rush comes in and halfway through gives us a new weapon for this game, the Mega Ball. It's a soccer ball that Mega Man throws around. It can also be angled up and down with the D-pad. You can also summon it and then jump on it for some extra height. Second, there's an underground section with some water, and here we learn two things. One, Mega Man can swim now. Just keep mashing the jump button and he'll swim upwards. Two, bolts are not dropped by enemies anymore. They're instead found within stages, and there were a limited number of them. I'll talk more about this change when I talk about the shop. For now, I'm fine with it. After that, we reach the boss, the Yellow Cargo. Just keep on mashing his head in with the Mega Ball. After that, we see some debris from the asteroid and we bring it back to light. We're then hit with the stage select screen. Once there, we can see that we do things like Mega Man 7. We start out with 4 Robot Masters, have a middle stage, have another set of 4, and then we have the council stages. A pro about this format that I forgot to mention in the Mega Man 7 video is that when you don't have a straight 4 hours to spare on Mega Man, segmenting the game up like this is very good for me. Anyway, we also see that we can revisit the intro stage if we'd like for whatever reason, and we can visit Light's lab. Here you can save your game, go to the options, or Roll will sell you some parts with the bolts you've accumulated. And to get to the bolts, I'm fine with this change. I don't like it, I much prefer that we keep the shop the way it was, and I think it would have been much cooler to keep the part where you explore to find items, but I'm perfectly fine with finding bolts. But since you find them, there's only a finite amount of them, and because of that, you can't buy everything in the shop. I'm split on this. On one hand, you can't get everything, so if you wanted to end this game as a really cool, overpowered Mega Man, you can't do that, and that's what I like to do. On the other hand, it forces you to prioritize what parts you do and don't want, otherwise you'll just waste them. Speaking of that, I recommend not buying any parts at all until you get through the mid-stage. At the start of the game, you only start with half the shop open. After the mid-stage, the full shop is open for you to browse. I got the exit parts immediately after the intro stage, or maybe my first stage, I don't remember. And then afterward, I got the high-speed charge, step booster, energy balancer, and the energy saver. The high-speed charge allows the buster to charge faster, the step booster lets Mega Man climb up ladders faster, the energy balancer does what it's done since Mega Man 6, and the energy saver doubles your special weapon ammo. After that, it's time to pick a stage. And all these stages are really good. I've said this for the past few videos, but nearly each stage is fun to play through and nothing's infuriating or anything like that. Grenade Man stage has the bomb from Blizzard Man stage, and they've introduced a variant that walks. Tengu Man has a section where you ride on Rush Jet and fly around shooting things. You can even call in some help with Auto Beat and Eddie. Even Rush will be firing things from his mouth. Clown Man stage has these boxes that'll move you around, so you gotta pick the right one. Blizzard Man stage has the infamous snowboard section, and it was pretty manageable here. I liked it. Sword Man stage has a bunch of mini challenges for you to go through, and it requires some special weapons like Thunderclaw and Tornado Hold. Search Man stage makes some pretty good use of Thunderclaw to swing around. Astro Man stage has some disciplining platforms you need to stand on, and it also has some pretty good mazes. Aquaman stage doesn't have much for me to latch onto though. Kinda boring, the mini boss is pretty bad. I guess that's the only stage I don't like. I haven't talked about the graphics yet, so I can do that here. And darn, dude, this game looks incredible. I think I said in the 7 video that 7 is the best looking Mega Man game, and I must have been misremembering this one because the sprite work here is also incredible. The two probably tie for best looking Mega Man game. Although that isn't saying much when 7, 10, base, and 11 are the only mainline games that aren't 8-bit or 8-bit styled. But I'll list my grievances about that in the 9 video. Anyway, yeah, this game looks great. Honestly, talking about the graphics has never been a strong suit of mine. I think you understand what I mean more when I show you the art rather than when I talk about it. There's also the soundtrack to talk about, and it's pretty good. A fun fact, this is the first Mega Man game with an opening theme song. And I mean like the opening theme an anime usually has, not like what Mega Man usually has. I uploaded a test video where I play the song, and YouTube says that I won't get a strike or any type of restriction, so I'll play a bit of the song for you. If the song got cut out just now, it's because I got a strike later down the road. If that ever happens, I'll hopefully remember to put a link in the description or a card in the top left. Besides that, however, the soundtrack is really good. The OST goes for more of a synth vibe, and I absolutely love it. Some of my favorites include... My favorite theme though, no doubt, is the stage select theme. I think it's time we get back to the story. After defeating the first 4 robot masters, we get a cutscene showing us a robot that was found on the asteroid and some energy nearby. We learned that the energy is some sort of evil energy that Wily is using to power up his robots, but as soon as Rock and Light leave the room, the robot wakes up and flies off. We then gotta chase after him. That leads us to the mid-stage, and it's fine. It's small again, just like in 7. You can find 2 bolts here though, and that's cool. You can also fight Cutman in the Sega Saturn version, which I'm not playing. Have some footage captured by the World of Long plays. Probably. You then fight the robot, and he's pretty strong. He leaves, and then Proto Man shows up. He tells us that Wily's new fortress, the Wily Tower, isn't too far from here. We go there, and Mega Man gets his butt kicked. The robot appears again, introduces himself as Duo, and destroys the other robot in no time. He then explains the energy that Light found, and says that in our language it's best described as evil energy. Basically, think of it like darkness in Kingdom Hearts, except you won't lose your heart or anything. So now, Duo is gonna look for all traces of evil energy on Earth and get rid of it, while Mega Man's gonna defeat the next 4 robot masters. One more thing I'd like to touch on would be the Rush abilities. Rush Coil and Jet have been removed once more, but the Rush adapters have also been removed. E-tanks, W-tanks, and the like have also been removed. Instead, we have 4 new Rush abilities. Rush Question is when Rush comes down and drops you an item. Sometimes he'll just play static noise or go to sleep instead. And this is pretty funny. I would always call him down for a health up, and I had to keep reloading the save state because he would keep throwing me other stuff. And then he just randomly throw me a Yashishi, which refills all health and weapon ammo. There's also the Rush Bike, where Rush turns into a bike. There's Rush Bomber, where Rush flies down and bombs enemies. I have never used it once. And then there's Rush Charger, where Rush will fly across the room and drop health ups and ammo refills. This is a 50-50 for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then I need to call in Rush Question. Overall, these upgrades are fine, but I much prefer having things like Coil, Jet, and the E-Tanks. These items are either not useful, like Bike and Bomber, or are tied too heavily into RNG, like Question or Charger. Finally, it's time to discuss the bosses. Overall, I really like them. I've said this since my Mega Man 4 video, but these bosses are fun to fight. They require you to pay attention and dodge their attacks, but their attacks are also readable. These bosses do hit hard though. I pretty much always come into a boss with 50% health, and unless Rush heals me, I always die about 80% into the fight. I also don't remember any bosses I disliked. Swordman was my favorite though. He splits into two, so you gotta jump over his legs, then dodge a flame attack, and then slide under his sword when he splits into two again. As for the weapons, they're about as useful as they've been in the past few games. Again, the Mega Buster are just so powerful and so good at dealing with enemies that I do not feel the need to swap weapons unless the bot I'm fighting takes so little damage. The Mega Ball has some good platforming capabilities, but I'm not sure that was intentional. Thunderclaw can also be used to grapple onto certain parts of the level, and that's neat. I think I also use Ice Wave and Swordman stage to get rid of some fire, but other than that, I never use any of the weapons. Maybe if I were in a real pickle like a ton of enemies were on screen, I may have used Astro Crush, but that never even happened. And after all that, it's time for the castle stages. Wily Stage 1 is a good stage. Basically all of it is a snowboard section from Frostman stage, and I really like that. The game gives ample time to react to hazards, and when I died to something, it never felt like it was the game's fault, I just needed to react faster. I also have save states, so there's that. The boss of the stage is the Tetmino. It drops down a random place out of 4 holes, and you gotta hit it with the Mega Ball. After a second, the other 3 boxes will drop down. 2 will attack, and 1 will contain weapon energy. If all of them face you, just keep on firing with the Mega Buster, you'll be fine. The second stage has a Rush Jet section, and it was cool. You actually needed to move around as Rush, and it was kinda challenging. The boss of the stage is the Blicking. It's got 4 arms, 2 in front, 1 above, 1 behind. I didn't really like this boss. It took chip damage from the Mega Buster like he was high max. I just pulled out Astro Crush though, his weakness. Something I'd like to mention is that even though you save in between each castle stage, if you turn off the game and leave in the middle of the castle, you have to restart the whole castle when you come back. It sucks and I have no idea why they changed it. But hey, I have save states to use. The third castle stage makes use of the bombs again, and you have another fight with Super Bass. However, this time you're doing it without the Super Adapter, so it's definitely harder. The fight is really intimidating, but it's actually kinda easy to dodge his attacks. When he throws his energy shots into the air, just go all the way to the edge, then move a bit so they don't hit you. And when he starts up his laser, go to the middle so you dodge regardless of whether it goes right or left. Then the stage continues a bit and you have a fight with the Green Devil. This fight is his easiest so far since you don't have to dodge his blocks, just keep on hitting his face until you hit the weak spot. However, he doesn't take much damage from the Mega Buster, so I pulled out his weakness. Then the fourth stage, and you know, the song is really fitting for this stage. Yeah, the boss rush stage. Again, I hate this. It's just a way to recycle content before the curtain calls and make the game that ever bit longer. The final boss is mostly good. Hey, I have no clue why I said that. This final boss is not good, just disregard that last sentence. You need to hit Wily, and he also throws out some spikes to dodge. He shoots out a giant laser, and it lasts so long you can't jump over it. I have no clue how you dodge that, so I eventually just pull out his weakness, Flame Sword, so he died before I lose too much health. Hey, I know I said Flame Sword is his weakness, but that's one of his weaknesses. Water balloon deals just as much damage and is easier to hit him with, so that's why the footage says that while the script says something else. Thankfully, you can use rush abilities in the middle of this fight, so I was able to heal in between Wily Machine 8 and Great Wily Capsule. This capsule fight is really irritating. He takes chip damage from his weakness, and it's really hard to hit him with the weakness when he's high up. Remember, his weakness is a sword, and it's really hard to dodge his attacks. Remember the formation of circles that Wily Machine 4 used to throw out? They've lost their elemental properties, but they're just as hard to dodge as back then. And dude, I have like 8 minutes of footage of this fight. It was not fun. After that, we see Duo take the evil energy out of Mega Man. I guess he had too much exposure to the Wily Tower, and he's brought back home. Proto Man finds him and tells him Duo's message to him.
ありがとうだってよ
And the game ends. Also, the credits never played for me for some reason. After all this, I could say that Mega Man 8 is a pretty good game. I don't know if it's as good as 5, 6, or 7, but I'd like to play it before the first 3 games, maybe even 4. It's a good game, and it's easily another one that I'd play again. But next up is Mega Man in Base. This is another game that I have not played before, and I've heard mixed things about this game, so I'm curious to see how I feel about it. So I hope you stick around for that. See ya.